Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of time out of your day to come and talk to you about the services and resources that you guys are now able to access through Loyola Notre Dame Library. My name is Kate Newton. I'm the online learning librarian for LNDL, and I'm part of the reference and instruction team. And with me, I have Kate Campbell, who is the Health and Natural Sciences librarian. Kate will be the liaison librarian for MUIH students and faculty going forward. So, Kate, you want to say hi real quick?
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's good to meet with you today and show you all that the library has to offer for you.
Okay, so basically our plan for the day today is we're going to share our screen and walk you guys through the MUIH welcome guide that we put together. And then we'll give everybody at the end a chance to answer questions for a little bit of a Q&A session. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If you did not catch the notice at the beginning, we are recording this session and we will post the video on the MUIH guide um, for anybody who was not able to attend, and then there will be an FAQ video forthcoming after that. So let me share my screen. Here we go. Okay, Kate, we're ready. Now we're ready whenever you are.
All right. So, welcome, everyone. The first thing that I'm going to discuss with you today is borrowing. As members of the Notre Dame community, you do have the ability to borrow books and media from Loyola Notre Dame Library. We are also part of a consortium of 16 higher education institutions in the state of Maryland. This is called the University System of Maryland and Affiliated Institutions, or USMAI for short, and you have the ability to borrow materials from any of those schools as well. So if you have requests for physical materials from a USMAI school, you can pick up the requests either here at LNDL, you can have them sent here, or you can go to your nearest USMAI institution. So if you live in Frostburg, for example, you could head over to Frostburg State University and pick it up at their library there. Since you don't have Notre Dame ID cards, it is important that before you go to a USMAI school, you'll just have to check with the school about their access policies to make sure that you can get to the building and pick up your requests. And we do understand that there are probably students and faculty who, excuse me, who are not local to Maryland. So in that case, if you live more than 30 miles from the nearest USMAI school, we do have the ability to mail requests to your address. If that is something that you're interested in doing, you can see in this box here, borrowing from LNDL/USMAI. You can contact our help desk or Zach Gosbucheri at the email listed here, and he will get you set up with delivering requests to your address. I'd also like to discuss interlibrary loan because there may be materials that you want to access but that we don't carry here at the library. So in order to get those materials, you can use our interlibrary loan system. Linked here on your guide, we have another guide called How to Use Interlibrary Loan. Sorry, this is the box borrowing from LNDL/USMAI on the homepage, and we're in the Interlibrary Loan tab. So we have the guide linked here, How to Use Interlibrary Loan, and it goes through the complete steps of how you can place ILL requests. In short, you're going to want to create an ILL account using your NDMU login, and then you're going to enter the information of the material that you're requesting. If you found something in our catalog that you want to request through ILL, it will have a box, if that is an option to you, that says request via interlibrary loan. And if you click that box, it'll auto-populate the information for that item into the request form for you. If we don't have the item in the catalog, you'll just have to manually input that information. For ILL requests, delivery is typically 24 hours or less for articles and for book chapters, and about 1 to 2 weeks for books, depending on how far away the book is coming from. If you need help at any point with placing ILL requests, you can contact us, but we also have an ILL email that you can use, which is listed on that ILL guide, and it's interlib@loyola.edu. There may be other questions that you have while you're using the library resources and you'll want to get in contact with us to get an answer. So we have several different channels through which you can contact us. So the easiest is going to be on your left here, the MUIH Ask a Librarian chat box. This chat box is on every page of the guide. And through this chat, you have 24/7 live chat access. So if you type a question in there, a librarian is always going to answer you. It is never going to be a bot or artificial intelligence. It will always be a real person. Between the hours of 9 to 5, it's going to be one of us here at LNDL. During our weekend and evening hours, it will be one of our part-time librarians. And then, let's say you need something late at night. A librarian at another school in the country who has access to all of our resources will be able to help you too. If you prefer not to chat, if you'd like to reach us through another avenue or you have a more involved question, you can also use the additional options for contacting us here. So during our business hours, you can call us at the phone number listed. And then we also have an email box that all of us check. It's askemail@loyola.edu, and we will typically get back to you within 48 hours or less. And then the last thing I'm going to discuss right now is logging in off campus. So all of the electronic resources linked on this guide are available for you to use without physically being on campus. So in order to use these resources, you're just going to need to log in with your NDMU credentials. And if at any point you experience difficulties with logging in, such as it's not recognizing you as a user or just any other random issue that comes up, please contact us through one of the avenues that I pointed out so that we can make note of the issue and we can get you connected with someone who will be able to help you with it. And now I'm going to hand it back over to Kate.
Okay, I'm going to take you down to the next panel in the welcome guide, which is the subject resources list. And these you will find are populated largely from the resource lists that already existed um, in your library LibGuide. So we tried to maintain those as best we could. So there is a listing for each area that will be carried forward into Notre Dame, and they contain links to highlighted resources for each major subject area. So for example, in nutrition resources, some of the highlighted resources include the Food Environment Atlas, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and Wolfram Alpha's Food and Nutrition. So those will be a little bit of a familiar touchstone for you. Moving down into the rest of our collections, we have books and ebooks that are available for use, and we attempted to largely collect these together in subject categories that we drew from either your library LibGuide at MUIH or from what we could understand from the web presence. So as you're using this, if you find that things have been miscategorized, first of all, we're very sorry. We don't mean to put things in the wrong place, but sometimes we're guessing a little bit. And you are always welcome to contact us and let us know that something needs to be recategorized. So each one of these resource pages will have a reminder of how to achieve off-campus access. It's also going to have a reminder box on the borrowing policies. So when you want to access an ebook, for example, I'm going to go in through herbal medicine. A couple of things to remember. We have both print and electronic books in these collections. So we've broken it out into ebooks first and then print books at the bottom. The print books you can request. You can come in here to the library and check them out. The ebooks you can access from home. Now, many of our ebooks can only be accessed by a limited number of people at a time, 1, 2, or 3. So if you get a notice when you try to open one that someone else is using it, you just need to close the book and try again in 5 or 10 minutes. So to give you an idea of what this looks like in action, I am going to open the ebook Herb Toxicities and Drug Interactions by Fred Jennis. So this takes you to a link to the item as it exists in our collection. And there are a number of different ways to open these books. So first you can check a chapter listing in the table of contents to make sure that this suits the purpose that you are accessing the book for. You can also tell within this section what the permissions are. So this tells me that there is unlimited user access. That means as many people as want can access this item at a time. It also says that you can print, email, or save up to 100 pages. That means you can get a PDF copy of up to 100 pages of material and download it to your computer. So in order to check it out, you'll want to click the full download button. This checks the book out in our system so that no one else is able to access it. We recommend with these books that have multiple user licenses at a time that folks don't do that, and instead they choose something like PDF full text. So I'll click on that, and this will show you, this gets you to a copy of the book that lives online, and using it in this format and downloading exactly what you need through this up to 100-page download and print function will let the book stay available for multiple people to use at a time. So once it's downloaded, it's kind of out of circulation until that person returns it. So you'll want to make sure to use that PDF download function. Okay, I'm going to back up and we'll scroll down and look at the print book collection. So what you can see here is, again, a link to a description of the item. It has the call number where that item is located physically in the library, so you can come into the building and check it out. But if you need to request a copy of the book, if you need to have it sent to you or need to pick it up, you'll just click into our session here. I'm going to log in. It'll ask you for your Notre Dame credentials, and you should sign in. I'm using my Loyola credentials because it has my password saved. It's the same process though. So I'm going to let this load up. And what signing into our OneSearch function does is let you have access to things like requests. So, for example, you can come in and you can actually request this item that is in the library. All I did was come to the center of the page and click Request Item, then the little link that says Request, and it says, okay, I can pick this up at Notre Dame, or I can ask for it to be delivered somewhere else. You tell us when you don't need it after. So what's the latest date that you can receive this book? And then you send the request. I'm not going to click that because it'll mean it gets pulled from the shelf and held for me to come and pick it up. So one of our library workers will go to the shelf where it lives, grab it for you, take it up to the front desk, check it out for you, and then send you an email to let you know when and where you can pick it up. Okay, so those are our book collections. Let me come back to our guide, and we will talk just a little bit about our journal collection. So the next tab down, journals. Okay, there's your off-campus access reminder again. We are adding titles that you guys are requesting as quickly as we can. So you'll see some that have the title listed but don't have a link. Those are ones that you can get in and request via interlibrary loan. Or in some cases, we may be waiting for the licensing to kick in or for the subscription to become active. But much the same way with the ebooks, I'm going to choose to look at the journal, Alternative Therapies in Health and Medicine. Now, what this does is takes me directly to every article that we have access to, basically a listing of what we have access to. And you'll notice inside this database where this journal is located, there's a link that says search within this publication. So this will let me search for a particular volume and issue. It will let me search for keywords, etc., through a quick search. In this case, what I'm going to show you is one of our later issues. So we're going to take a look at something fairly new, volume 30, issue 2. And if you'll notice, I've jumped over to the right-hand side where it says all issues and articles, and it has links of drop-down menus for every year for which we have access to this journal. So let's look at volume 30, issue 2, which was from February. And here are all the articles that we are able to provide you access to through one search. All of them are available with a PDF full text download. So you're allowed to open these, download them, print them, keep them on your laptop, and you don't have to worry about turning them back in. It doesn't officially check them out in any sense. Okay, and the last bit that I'm going to show you before I turn it back over to other Kate is our databases tab. And these are specific databases that match or at least match content of ones that you all had access to through MUIH, the original. You may notice some of them have a slightly different name. We have Academic Search Ultimate, for example. I believe you guys had Academic Search Premier. It is essentially the same content. Once the transition period is over and you have access to everything, you'll find that there's a lot more material within some of these databases than you may have had before, or may have more robust searching, search tools, etc. So let's take a quick look at one of the ones that we just got in, which is JSTOR's Global Plants. Now, Global Plants is going to replace the database that you guys had, Herbarium. Um, this is the best match that we could find for the content. This is actually a really fantastic database of digitized plant specimen. They do things like feature historic collections, botanical expeditions, and etc. So this is a really excellent place to go to look up information on plants. If I go back to the databases again, we also just added Food Science Source, which is a fantastic database to search for information about nutrition and the medicinal properties of different foods. It covers trade publications, monographs, magazines, and market reports, as well as standard journal articles. And then the last one that I'm going to show you is that we have access to Sonal Plus with full text. We've increased our full text availability, and so we have a lot more content that we can offer to you. And as an example, I'll show you how to do. I'm just looking for information on herbal medicine. Okay, so I'll type that into my search box. This is just a quick, a quick overview again to show you that it's not much different probably from what you're used to. I can scroll down and make use of a bunch of different limiters. So I can say I only want full text, research articles, etc. to get studies and hit search. Okay. And then I get about 5,800 results for this. And you'll notice most of them are available in both HTML within the database and then PDF full text. And there is a full suite of extra limiters down the left-hand side that are available to you to help you cut your search down to be even more specific. So I know that is a very fast overview of a bunch of our research sections, but I'm going to turn it back over to Kate now so she can talk about the last couple of sections that we have.
Thank you, Kate. So next, I'm going to cover the writing resources that we have available to you through this guide. So first, we have two different manuals from our physical book collection here. These are recommended books from our catalog that are about both how to write and how to read academic writing. And one that I want to highlight in particular here is how to read a paper. So this is a book written for healthcare professionals. It has an evidence-based medicine focus, and it goes over different types of clinical research reporting. And it also discusses how to evaluate literature and how to implement findings from the literature. So this is a great resource for students who might be new to that process of evidence-based medicine, and they need a little bit of a guide on that. Um, if you are local to campus, Notre Dame additionally has a writing center. So at their writing center, they have writing consultants. You can schedule a 45-minute consultation with them, and they can help you on a variety of writing-related tasks, such as developing essay topics, developing and organizing your ideas, and writing more effectively. It's important to note for that all consults currently are in person. So this is going to be, if you are local to campus and you're able to come over here, that's a resource that you can use. Additionally, we wanted to highlight, we have a citation guide for APA linked on this guide down here, our APA style guide. So if you need citation help, this has the 7th edition of the APA handbook, and it has a bunch of categories in the left-hand menu there on various aspects of APA citations, so that can provide you guidance with doing citations if that's something that you need assistance with. And then finally, I'd like to highlight the SAGE skills modules that we have available to you. So these modules can be used in lieu of your prior access to Academic Writer. And these are going to be interactive modules that focus on things like academic writing, referencing, and research skills. Um, so they're all interactive modules, and if it's just something that you need a refresher on, or there's a writing skill that you just feel like you don't know very much about it, I would recommend taking the time to look at these modules. Another module that we have on here is SAGE Research Methods down at the bottom of this box. So these are going to be modules that will guide you through every step of the research process if that's something that you find yourself needing. All right. We do also have resources specifically for MUIH faculty and staff. So first, I'd like to discuss our book collection for faculty and staff. So we have a list of book recommendations here that are around topics relevant to your work as faculty. So this ranges from things like academic culture and higher education practices to assessing student learning. We have library topics such as searching and information literacy, and then we have pedagogy. And now we also have a section here about research and teaching support. So at LNDL, each subject area has a liaison librarian who's going to be your main point of contact with the library. As Kate mentioned at the beginning of our session, I am the subject librarian for all MUIH areas of study. And I'm going to be here to support your research and instruction needs. You'll also hear from me throughout the semester to update you on if there are library events that we want faculty and students to know about, or if we have new resources that are going to be of interest to you, or expanded library services that will be of interest to you. So you'll hear from me throughout the semester. But if you need anything, you are also more than welcome to contact me directly, and I will either work to help you out or point you in the direction of someone who can. So my email is kcampbell5@ndm.edu, and it is also listed here on the guide. You're also more than welcome to use the chat box or the ask email address if it's something that I need to answer. The staff will make sure, the librarians will make sure that I am aware of it. But if you want to reach out directly, my email is there for you. And like I said, I encourage you to do that. You are more than welcome to. We also have a few teaching support resources. First, we have an in-house copyright information center. Our copyright librarian is Danielle Wren Johnson, and she can provide guidance and education on basic copyright questions that might arise through the course of your academic work. It's important to note we cannot offer legal research about copyright. You have to talk to a lawyer for that. But if you just have general questions or you need to have a better understanding of how copyright applies to something that you want to do, Danielle is here as a resource for you. So she has online help guides related to this. She offers workshops throughout the year, and you can also schedule an individual consultation if that's something that you need. I'm also going to discuss our electronic course materials. So you might have materials in hard copy that you'd like to have digitized for your classes. We are able to help with this too. We have a list of instructions for faculty in this box. So if you have something you need to have digitized, you can review the instructions on this box, and then we have a link to our digitization request form here. So you can send that through and somebody will digitize it for you. All right, and then the final thing that I'm going to discuss right now is general library information. So our hours, they vary depending on the day, but we do have them all listed here for you. Something to note is that Sunday through Thursday, we are open till midnight. We also are open on weekends. And then during the exam season, the Sunday through Thursday hours are extended until 2 a.m. We do have some reduced hours during holidays, and then we're closed over the Thanksgiving holiday. As far as actually physically getting to the library, we are located at 200 Winston Avenue here in Baltimore. There is a parking lot in front of the library. So between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, it's going to be paid parking. It costs $2 an hour, and we have a parking kiosk there. It's very easy to use. It takes credit cards, and you just will put the receipt on your dashboard to show that you paid. After 5 p.m. on weekdays and then all day on the weekends, the parking is free. It's additionally free during final exam periods and all summer. Something to note is that you are not able to park at the library outside of our operating hours, so we don't allow overnight parking. I don't anticipate that would be an issue for anyone here, but I do like to point it out just in case. When you actually physically get to the library, since you don't have an NDMU ID card, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to enter our vestibule, and you will see a little bell/intercom system there right when you come in. You can ring the bell and our help desk person will pick up, and you can just tell them that you're an MUIH student or MUIH faculty and you're here to use the library. So they'll let you into the building, and then you can proceed to our help desk on the first floor. And you'll just want to make sure that you bring a government ID, such as your driver's license, so that you can sign into the library. All right, and then the last thing that we're going to discuss is study space. So we do have various study spaces available to you here in the library. First, we do have reservable group study rooms. Those are located on our first floor and on our third floor. These can be reserved anytime except during final exams. During final exams, they're on a first come, first served basis, but any other time throughout the semester, you can reserve them. So if you follow the group study rooms link that is in this box, it's going to open our reservation system. This will show you all of the rooms that are available, whether they're currently available or booked at the available times, and that is also how you can reserve the room for yourself if that's what you'd like to do. And then we also have just general study space throughout the library that you don't need to reserve. You can just use it, if it's available. So a variety of seating on the first floor. We also have an outdoor patio. And then we have various study carrels and tables throughout the library on every floor. Also, for studying purposes, our second and third floor are quiet floors. All right, and that is everything on our guide.